Good morning, children. Last we did collection of data, so now we will be starting with the fourth chapter, that is organization of data. Okay. So now, in order to make the data capable of analyzing, the raw form of data cannot be used for analyzing, right? After collecting the data, the raw form of data cannot be used for analyzing. We need to organize it before we analyze it. So we need to organize the data. So collection of data is classified into, the collected data is classified into classes and subclasses according to some characteristics, which is known as classification. Okay, so the collected data is then organized, means it is separated into groups. Now, these groups or separating it into subgroups or classes, whatever you say, is this process is known as classification. So classification is the process of arranging data into sequences and groups according to their characteristics or separating them into different but related parts. This definition has to be studied. Classification is the process of arranging data into sequence and groups according to their characteristics or separating them into different parts. Under classification, we can do this classification on basis of various things. Okay. So while classifying the data, we can understand the heterogeneity or the homogeneity of the collected information. When we are classifying the data, it helps us to understand the homogeneity and the heterogeneity of the information collected. Classification of data serves the following purposes. To simplify and condense the mass data. In classification, the aim is to eliminate. Okay. So we did the classification of data, means why is it done? To condense it into a small form so that it is easy for analysis. To remove complexities. Okay, if there is any problem in the data, you can easily remove it and highlight the features. It helps in comparing the data. It provides information about relationship among the elements that you have collected. Means if we are talking about agriculture and the factors affecting it, like rainfall, irrigation, insecticides, pesticides, seeds, fertilizers, soil fertility. So if you collect the data and condense it, you can compare it as well as you can understand the relationship among each of the variables, how those are interconnected, and it helps in the analysis also. Next, objectives of classification, the same thing is there. To simplify and condense the mass data. In classification, the aim is to eliminate the unnecessary details and make huge mass of complex data into a simple, condensed and logical form. Means the aim is to eliminate the huge unnecessary details, means which you don't need for your study. You delete those and you bring and you take only the relevant ones which you need. And thus it comes into a condensed form. To explain similarity and dissimilarities, classification facilitates the grouping of data according to certain similarities and dissimilarities. This enables the investigators to grasp them easily. So, classification also facilitates the similarities and dissimilarities in the data. Classification enables to do comparison. It helps to study the relationship. As I said, the example of agriculture, you can easily find out the interlinkage between the variables regarding which you have collected the data. Classified data can be easily put into tables for more processing. Now, the classification enables one to form a mental picture and summarize it can easily be remembered. When you classify the data, when you condense it, it easily gets into your mind and you can picturize it. Okay. Next is requisites of good classification. What are the requisites of good classification? Okay. So the first is suitability. The classification should conform to the object of inquiry. Means the way you are classifying the data, it should be according to the study you are doing. Okay. Next, unambiguous. The classification should not lead to any confusion. Okay. The way you are classifying the data, it should be very clear to everyone. It should not create any confusion. Next, classification should be so exhaustive that every unit of the series should find place in one group or the other. Means the classification should be such that whatever data you have collected should get place, means it should be allotted in any one of the groups or subgroups that you have assigned in your classification. Flexibility. A good classification should be capable of being adjusted according to the change in situation. Means if there is change in your study, the classification should be such that it can be easily be adjusted with the change in your study. The classification must not overlap. Means it must be exclusive. There must be no item which can find its way into more than one class. Means one item should be, or one, like agriculture, so irrigation, that value should find there only. It does not mean that the value that you have collected for irrigation that will come under irrigation also and soil also. No. Then it will be overlapping. So there must be no item which can find its way into more than one class. Stability. The principle of classification once decided should remain same throughout the analysis. The classification policy which you have adopted, it should be same throughout your analysis. A classification should be homogeneous. If similar items are placed in a class, all units belonging to a group should exhibit similar characteristics. So classification should be homogeneous. If similar items are placed in a class, all units belonging to that group should be similar. Okay, means there must be equality in the groups that you have made or the subgroups that you have made, and among the items also of the series. Okay, now we will move to the methods of classification.